Hi, thank you for watching Dig Into China. I'm Dong Xiong. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. I'd like to discuss a significant topic with everyone. Currently, the Chinese Communist Party is actively engaging in an anti-corruption campaign within the medical sector, specifically targeting corruption within the pharmaceutical industry. What makes this effort particularly noteworthy is the collaboration of 10 different departments working together to combat corruption in this field. While this endeavor might discourage certain corrupt individuals, it fails to address the most substantial corruption issue: the preferential medical privileges enjoyed by high-ranking officials. If there is a genuine commitment to tackling corruption within the pharmaceutical sector, why not investigate the extensive use of nucleic acid testing throughout the 3-year pandemic period? Why not examine instances of significant medical wastage and corruption, such as those observed in makeshift hospitals? The question remains, why the evasion? A similar occurrence happened towards the end of August when an unforeseen news story uncovered a significant nucleic acid case. Contrary to the intentions of the Chinese authorities, this development took them by surprise, as they had not anticipated its societal implications. Interestingly, this revelation didn't stem from the medical sector. Instead, it emerged from an entirely unrelated field: soccer. On August 28th, a news story took over the trending list on major social media platforms. The headline reads, "What caused the sudden collapse of Wuhan's Three Towns Football Club?" The club's investors have officially announced that they will cease funding the club starting from September 1st, 2023. Once the announcement was released, cries of dismay flooded the online space. Some reflected on this as the final act of the real estate-driven football bubble, while others raised concern for private enterprises. As for the future of this Chinese Super League champion team, those within the industry are anticipating potential involvement from state-owned enterprises, and there are even speculations about the possibility of rescue efforts from Saudi Arabian investors and more. Nevertheless, delving deeper into this matter reveals a more intricate backdrop, ultimately exposing a major case of nucleic acid testing corruption. This is also the driving force behind the sustained attention from Chinese internet users. Over the course of the 3-year pandemic, suspicions arose regarding nucleic acid testing's necessity, given the extensive and frequent testing of the entire population. This raised concerns about underlying significant interests. Yet, despite widespread speculation, concrete evidence remained elusive. Now, remarkably, the soccer community has inadvertently brought this matter to the forefront. The legal representative of the Wuhan Three Towns Football Club is their general manager, Fang Silong. The club is fully owned by Wuhan Shangwen Zhixing Sports Industry Corporation, which in turn is wholly owned by Wuhan Shangwen Real Estate Development Corporation. Consequently, to many, the Wuhan Three Towns Football Club appears to be a real estate-linked club, akin to clubs like Guangzhou Evergrande, Guangzhou RNF, and Hebei China Fortune. It's presumed that its investors is the local real estate firm named Wuhan Shangwen. Nevertheless, it's common knowledge that the real estate sector has been on a decline since 2020, particularly after the implementation of the 3 red lines policy, which resulted in multiple real estate firms facing financial crisis. Therefore, the question arises, how can Wuhan Shangwen, a local real estate company, manage to invest 300 million yuan each year, with each investment commitment spanning 3 years, culminating in a total of 900 million yuan, equivalent to $138 million? This is not raises substantial doubts about also emerges as a pivotal factor in deciphering the ongoing transformations within the Three Towns Football Club context. Let's begin by discussing Wuhan Shangwen Real Estate Development Corporation. The legal representative of this company goes by the name Liu Liangbin. However, there is another key figure among the major shareholders, Liu Liangpei, who holds a significant 98% ownership stake. Verified information confirms an intriguing connection. Liu Liangbin is actually the older brother of Liu Liangpei. Interestingly, Liu Liangpei's business holdings extended beyond the Wuhan Shangwen Real Estate Development Corporation. He also possesses shares in two other companies, Liangpei Jin Biotechnology Corporation and Wuhan Banhui High-Tech Industrial Investment Group, with respective ownership percentage of 25% and 20%. Upon visiting the official website of Liangpei Jin Biotechnology, a clear picture emerges. It is revealed that this entity was among the first batch of designated units for COVID-19 nucleic acid testing in Hubei province. A report from March 19, 2020, published by Xinhua News Agency, unveiled that on January 27, 2020, Wuhan's Liangpei Medical Laboratory, along with 12 other third-party medical testing labs, received designation from Hubei Provincial Novel Coronavirus Infection Pneumonia Epidemic Prevention and Control Command to be among the initial group of third-party testing institutions authorized to conduct nucleic acid testing for the novel coronavirus. As reported by Wuhan's local media Changjiang Daily, on September 25, 2020, Liangpei Jin Biotechnology Corporation was established through investment from Wuhan Banhui High-Tech Industrial Investment Corporation. This firm specializes in clinical molecular biology and cytogenetic research and testing, with a dedicated focus on delivering genomic technology services for the betterment of human health. The intricate network of business relationships may seem complex, but in essence, the company secures its annual 300 million yuan, or a total of 900 million yuan, approximately $138 million over 3 years, from the proceeds generated by selling nucleic acid testing. This revenue is primarily generated through sponsorships presented as advertisement on the players' jerseys, which essentially constitutes the primary source of funding for the team. With the Chinese authorities shifting away from extensive zero-COVID measures and reducing mass nucleic acid testing, the club's revenue streams has dried up, rendering its sustainability untenable. Therefore, as this news story is progressively unraveled, it uncovers certain truths that have deeply surprised the Chinese online community. People had sensed the substantial interest linked to nucleic acid testing, but struggled to pinpoint concrete reasons. The government often asserted transparency and legality in the bidding process. However, this report provides a specific case revealing the significant profits concealed behind the nucleic acid testing. This disclosure has stirred up anger among the Chinese public, who are now indignant upon grasping the extent of these interests. Enduring countless compulsory nucleic acid tests and frequent lockdowns over 3 years, they've now seen through the facade. Swiftly, the Chinese authorities have removed this news from the trending topic lists. If this news continues to spread, it could potentially expose the failures in the government's pandemic containment strategy. Here are my takeaways. To begin with, the CCP's 3-year zero-COVID campaign could potentially be regarded as one of the most unscientific political movements in China's history. Mao Zedong previously initiated similar anti-scientific campaigns, such as the Great Leap Forward, during which individuals were urged to contribute any iron-containing materials from their household for steel production, an emblematic instance of organizing anti-scientific political endeavors in CCP's history. Xi Jinping's push for the zero-COVID campaign could arguably be labeled as one of the most absurd anti-scientific political endeavors in China's history, rivaling even Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward. The ramifications it has brought upon China's populace are no less profound than the consequences of Mao's fervent steel production drive. Evidence has emerged that the widespread nucleic acid testing is entirely unwarranted and defies scientific reasoning. A remark by Wang Sicong, the son of a prominent Chinese real estate mogul, encapsulates this sentiment. Engaging in daily nasal probing for tests isn't about detecting positivity or negativity, it's about gauging submission. Despite its initial lack of coherence, this phenomenon underscores a complex network of vested interests lying beneath the surface. Secondly, starting from the end of last year, Beijing abandoned its zero-COVID campaign and the entire nation went through a pandemic upheaval. This has led people to increasingly recognize the ludicrousness of the 3-year zero-COVID endeavor. Currently, the CCP has initiated an anti-corruption movement within the pharmaceutical sector. However, why hasn't it delved into investigating who profited during the zero-COVID initiative? The CCP actively avoids discussions about the absurdity of the 3-year pandemic response and refrains from critically examining its unscientific policies. Thus, the ongoing anti-corruption drive in the medical field is met with protective barrier that prevents public discourse from exploring and critiquing the irrationality of the 3-year pandemic control strategy. Thirdly, the financial crisis faced by Wuhan Three Towns Football Club can be attributed to its main financial supporter cutting off funds. This development comes as the zero-COVID initiatives concludes and the widespread nucleic acid testing comes to an end. This raises the pertinent question: how did the club's benefactors secure the rights for nucleic acid testing in the first place? Who sanctioned and authorized this? Given the substantial funds invested in the football team, redirecting those resources to bridge gaps in medical funding across different regions could have been a more prudent approach. This situation isn't confined to Wuhan alone. It extends to numerous cities, including Beijing. Reports surfaced in Chinese media revealing that many companies hastily formed temporary medical laboratories spanning various industries, which seemingly overnight transitioned to specialize in nucleic acid testing. This raises questions about whether there were vested interests driving the monopoly on nucleic acid testing. In China, not every ordinary enterprise can engage in nucleic acid testing. Licenses are limited to only a handful of individuals per city. A prevalent discourse in Chinese online circles suggests that the Xi family connections, including Xi Jinping's sister-in-law's family, Xi Jinping's wife's family, may wield considerable influence in China's nucleic acid testing sector. However, due to official considerations, these individuals tied to the Xi family are unlikely to undergo investigation, thereby extending a veil of protection to others involved in similar testing. This could explain the retraction of news concerning the Wuhan Three Towns Football Club and its absence from the trending topics list. Discussions are fervent on Chinese online platforms regarding the funding halt for the Wuhan Three Towns Football Club. This discourse reflects the emotions of the general public and their desire for authorities to address corruption in nucleic acid testing. The growing interest in this issue holds significance, prompting me to share it with you today. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.